Peace, love, and light, Brother Blue Port, live and direct to you.
Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct.
Indeed, and this is Blurred Lines. Peace to you and yours, Brother Blue Port, and live and direct to you. We are back with another episode of Blurred Lines. All right, family, to my left, as you can see on the screen, is a special guest. With no further ado, I present to you my good brother, your brother, our brother,
My brother
19 Keys. How you, good brother?
I'm magnificent, man. Good to be here in the ATL. You know what I'm saying, with the KTL.
Yes,
Family,
indeed.
you're talking about.
Yes, indeed. It's an honor to have you in the building. There's a lot going on in the world.
A lot is
an
an understatement.
And I would rather, not have this conversation with anyone but you, because you have paraphrased a very important concept and term in our society, and that is high-level conversation. So before I continue, I want to even speak about the scientific research that was just unveiled about the detriments of people having low-level conversations. You know what I'm saying? They said it is a deterrent to testosterone development. They said that it could make your teeth yellow. You know what I'm saying? They said that it could make you lose sleep. They were just bombing on it. They put out a Surgeon General's warning against low-level conversations. Did you see it?
I didn't see the full detail. I seen the study, but I didn't go into the papers the way you just explained it. Oh my God, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, man. So, as somebody who has coined the phrase of high-level conversation, tell me, what utility do you think low-level conversations serve on the planet, and why do the majority of people engage in it?
Well, low-level conversation, think of going back to a jester, right? A jester was able to say things in the kingdom that a normal person couldn't say. Okay. But he had to do it in a low-level manner, in a joke.
Right, you said a
right?
jester, correct?
A jester,
okay.
right?
Comedian,
so the court jester, he can get away with things that the normal person would be headed for.
Right.
Right? But the reality of it is that would be the entertainment, because when things are so bad, you want to distract people. So level conversation serves as a distraction, right? In the time when things are bad, make me laugh, right? Because otherwise you might make me cry with the truth, right? So, but the jester was wise, right? And the art of that is lost a lot, because the jester was able to say deep truths while at the same time making you laugh. So he would make you laugh and think. Right? In today's society, it's just making you laugh. It's just entertaining low-level stimuli to get you through the day. And that day is saying that instead of you getting your stimulation, right, through thinking, through learning, through execution, right, the act of taking something and getting it done step by step, and you feeling that accomplishment as stimulation, no, just utilize entertainment as stimulation, right? So therefore, you don't have to get nothing done. You can just scroll. You don't have to get nothing done. You can just laugh at this skit, laugh at this joke. And so it's nothing wrong with the entertainment aspect, right? But it has to always have the medicine in it. It has to always make you think at the same time.
Right. So there's certain comedians that I think of that do this at an expert level. We saw this demonstration around this time last year by Cat Williams.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then there's a vein, I often speak about it, where comedians came, Dick Gregory representing one lane, and Bill Cosby represented another. Then you have artists that converge both of those lanes, like let's say a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, a Dave Chappelle. You have Paul Mooney's, Richard Pryor.
Well, Richard started out as a clone of Bill Cosby, and he was uncomfortable, and he said, I'm gonna let my hair hang down, and he became more in the vein of a Dick Gregory. He started invoking social commentary in it, and like you said, the court jester can play in the king's face and get away with it with his head still intact. That was a very interesting observation, a very interesting analogy for the days and times that we're in. We can speak in one vein about what we see with the comedians, but there's an infusion that the politicians have also injected into society, where they're playing in people's face and they're laughing. You know, Elon Musk finds things very comedic or what have you.
Oh yeah.
Is there a deliberate dumbing down of society by politicians interjecting, you know, comedy into serious matters?
It's governance through memeism. So if we take the lowest level, right, you go back to propaganda cartoons. When literacy rates are low, how do you connect with people? Through pictures, right? The Black Panthers used it ultimately, right? They will be able to connect with different bases because you also have different people of different backgrounds. But through the picture allows you to own, right, the movement through connection to the media, right? And so when you go back to, you know, times where there was a fear of the rise of the blacks, messiah, if you will, or the black rule as they called it, they would put out pictures in a newspaper to get whites enraged. Whites had low literacy rates, so they couldn't read, right? The newspaper was for those who had higher literacy rates and intellectuals, if you will. So yes. Media, especially in print form, was always for a different class of society.
Absolutely.
Right? The propaganda cartoons was for those of low literacy rates, so that you can connect an idea to them without them fully understanding it, but you can evoke emotions and rage. Right? So in a time now where we have attention economy and people's attention is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing, how do you get people's attention where they have so much information to process? Right? So if you got something thought-provoking, they're not going to sit down and give you that much attention because they don't have it to give. But if I can just drop a picture, a meme, right? And meme is a direct connection to an idea and a feeling, then I can stop you in your tracks. You connected to this, and I'm guiding you through emotion, because you don't guide the crowd through intellect, you guide the crowd through emotion. The crowd has every politician, if you will, and leader has an unconscious mastery over the psychology of crowds. And the crowd characteristics is the woman and the child is more feminine, right? So when you're dealing with the crowd, you can't tell the fool from the scholar, right? They're both laughing at the same meme now. And so the thing about it is, how do we get people to consent through memes? I'm getting you laughing at your own oppression. So now you're laughing with me while I'm ruling over you, right? So it's memeism in the way they're doing it, and that's where you get a Doge, which starts off as a meme, right? And then turns into an organization. And so Elon knows how to constantly throw memes at you to consistently humanize himself, right? But also getting you to laugh in agreement, so that it's like when you're a speaker, you get people to say yes or no or yes in one direction like 3 to 5 times. Right. So that when I got that pattern, you're consenting to whatever comes next, because you're already going in that flow of direction. It's
that subconscious confirmation. So this is capitulation by comedy.
Yes. And the idea of a high level conversation is it stimulates you to think. Thinking frees you. When you're not thinking, you're going alone, you're consuming, right? So now it's like you're watching a movie, and if a movie doesn't make you think, you taking on unconscious characteristics of the characters that you're watching. But if there's a scene in the movie that provokes the thought about what's actually happening in the movie, then now you start putting up filters to be like, wait a minute. It's like watching Get Out. You know what I mean? You watching it, but it's making you think at the same time. Like, when have I ever been spinned around with the teacup and somebody just got me stuck in this what they call the sunken place.
Sunken place, right.
So now it creates social commentary. Kendrick Lamar music is entertaining, but damn, I'm listening to Not Like Us, and I get to the second verse, and he talking about what happened in Atlanta with history. Now I'm thinking about stuff. Wait a minute. He had me going. I was bopping with it, but now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You heard what he just said? Right. So now it's funny because the song is not trying to control you when it makes you think. You know what I'm saying? It's freeing you, actually, right? And because you feel so stimulated through that freedom, you're going to listen to that song over and over. So you don't have to just create low-level music to get people connected. But the problem is a higher degree of intellect in creating higher-level music. It's not fast food. It's 5-star. And a 5-star meal, what they doing? They explaining the garnishes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why they sprinkled a little drizzle.
All that.
You feel me? The taste, the seasoning came from Japan in 1922
They gave a lot
when
of
it was a
details.
war bunker that they took over, and this is the only reason that we was ever able to get this. And they're like, I didn't even need to know I knew all that, but when I taste that, I'm tasting the richness of the history and the flavor of the information. You feel me? In the class of the environment. So now it becomes an enriched experience that's aspirational. But in society that's not designed with biophilic design, meaning it doesn't have nature, doesn't have neural architecture to where the rooms are tall and, you know, it's not square, it's rounded to make you feel safe, or, you know, makes you feel aspirational, because there's a direct correlation between architecture, right?
Absolutely.
And our neural state of thinking.
Formation of negative ions, you know, is propels you to be aspiring. These are the things that make you feel good.
Right. But then the last part to that is, gatekeeping happens when you keep the conversation low level so that it controls what's considered to be safe, right? So if they're having the same conversations that I'm having on high level conversation, then that's safe conversation, right? But if they're getting access to platform and money and funds and they say, well, we don't talk about those things. We're not going to talk about, right, certain revisionists of true history, right? So therefore, when somebody else talks about it, that's being radical.
Right.
So they're gatekeeping, right, what's safe culture, right, and what's accepted. And that's what the boule do when they get opportunity, because, of course, they have brand deals and sponsorships. Right. And the people that give them the brand deals don't know about none of this. They're actually, black people are the one who gatekeep culture. White people don't enforce what culture is because they don't even know it. They don't know what's safe and who's not safe until you tell them.
Until you tell them, right. So with that, brother, that was a very high dosage of high level information via this conversation.
I'm on that Superman card.
Right. I'm going to let the people have a very high level observation of all of this information that they just took in, and we'll be back right after the break. This is Blurred Lines.
I got a question for you. What does your cabinet look like? What is it that you're taking in your routine that's keeping you high level? If it's not our products, then whose products are you taking? And if it's no products, then that's a problem. Y'all seen our commercials for Gold Water, right? You've seen it all over high level conversations. You come to the show, you grab your bottle, people give us the best testimonials on the planet, and we got people on the go. The thing about Gold Water is it's not our only product. We have products like the vitamin C moss. We don't naturally produce vitamin C, so we got to get it in other forms. So therefore, especially during wintertime, we are able to keep that immune system functioning high. And let's say if you just want pure moss. This is just pure moss. I'm talking about a superfood, the best on the planet. And not just from anywhere, because you never know where people actually getting their moss from. I ain't never seen them take a trip to Jamaica. See, we get ours tested, right, to make sure that you're getting the highest quality, pure version of it, and you're getting those minerals in an over-chemicalized world. We got Smart Moss Gold, right? That Smart Moss Gold is like a Viagra for the brain. You ever find yourself when your brain feels like it's low? You tap one of these and your brain gonna feel high level. Yeah, and women love a sapiosexual, so when those brains are popping and those ideals are running, you stay tapped in. You gotta make sure you stay safe out here. There's all sort of viruses and diseases that's running around this world, especially during this time. If you're traveling, make sure you spray this on the orifices throughout your body to kill any of those viruses or any of those things trying to invade you. Make sure y'all tap into goldwater.com so next time somebody asks you what's keeping you high level, what's keeping you young and healthy and wealthy feeling. And now we can take some of that credit for it over here at goldwater.com. Make sure you keep your health journey running. It's a marathon. Peace.
What are you waiting for? Download the ATL TV Network app now and start streaming your favorites. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this. Click that link and join the fun today.
Peace, family. It's 19 Keys, and you tuned in to Blurred Lines. Peace.
This is Blurred Lines. Peace to you and yours, family. Again, this is Brother Blue, Port live and direct. We are back with another segment of this amazing episode with my brother 19 Keys. I want to shift focus and speak about an incident that the entire world bore witness to last week, and everyone is talking about it. I like to call it the diplomacy of deodorant, right? We're bearing witness to this new administration's approach towards rebranding what they consider to be masculinity. And I want to get your thoughts on this overt, unapologetic version of white, male, Western, reframing or refurbishing of masculinity. What exactly are your thoughts on it? You know what I'm saying? And do you see it as being progressive?
I wouldn't say it's progressive per se. I think it's them. The last 20 years was under Democrats. Yeah. 16 out of those 20 years under Democrats. Right. So their goal is how do we, if you got an op, right, especially with somebody like Donald Trump, the Democrats created this current version of Donald Trump. Right. Mm-hmm. This is a more extreme, abrasive version of Donald Trump that we've seen, politically decisive in the things that he's going to do. Why? Because they threaten to do everything that they possibly can to a man, right? Mm-hmm. Jail him, right? Take away all his money, sue him, right. Publicly tarnish his image, everything that you can do.
Right. His assassination attempts have been...
So if you on that side of the people who tried to do that, tried to take everything away from me, how could there be anything friendly between us? If somebody did that to you, what would you do? You feel me? They ops for life, and you want their whole family gone. You want to destroy them completely. So there's also something called the Southern strategy, is you misalign. When a party gets misaligned and you realign them with yours, right? Democrats went so far left. I mean, so left, we ain't want nothing left.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then that's when people was like, well, wait a minute, Kamala, I don't know if I agree with funding trans prisoners for sex changes. This is just too left for me. You feel me? So the Democrats left black people, right? When they did that, and that's why so many people align with Trump, because they believe that his values were closer aligned to theirs than the Democrats were.
Well, let me just, while you say that, let me say traditionally, melanated people tend to be more conservative.
100%.
Right?
So
tend to be more conservative.
Masculinity is the idea, right? They did a study that showed when your testosterone is down, which party are you more aligned with and things of that nature. And essentially when they increased this testosterone of this participant group, some that had weak affiliation and strong affiliation, right? Those who had strong affiliation did not tend to move that much, right? But when they increased the testosterone group of one group that had weak affiliation, they shifted over red, right? And it was showcasing that there is some merit to the effect that, higher testosterone makes people shift over more so to the right side,
right?
Which is an idea of getting it on your own merit, right? That testosterone molecule makes you want to be willful, right? And you want to be stimulated by your own efforts.
Because I did read an article and they said that they were able to tell that the birth rate will continue to decrease now.
Yeah.
And they said, and they, even though a Republican administration is in, they still found ways to blame it on Democrats. You know what I'm saying? They still found ways to say, because of what we have experienced these last few years under the quote unquote, the Blue Brigade, that does not necessarily influence people to go out and have children. So, with that being said, looking at a declining population, looking at a people who may potentially be facing, a downsurge in regards to their power, especially if they tie their power into numbers and their numbers into people, right? Or what we're seeing in terms of this aggressive form of rebranding of masculinity, is it blowing air? Is it all bluff for people who cannot no longer project weakness? Has their fragility gotten the best of them?
Well, I think that they've always been like this. It's just that recently respectability politics didn't allow them to. And then you got to kind of understand that there's different types of white people too. You feel me? Like this particular group, or at least now it's being sphered, like this group of white men want to show like we are the leaders, we are the ones in power, we are the ones in charge, which is ideally is where they want it always to be, right? And when that power is now being threatened, to me it looks like they working together. They basically saying, listen, Trump, we need you. You feel me? I think there's a lot of people on the Democratic side. I believe Joe Biden wanted Donald Trump to win because they like, listen, somebody on the Democratic side will never be able to do what he's going to do for so-called America, so that those who are the elitists can maintain power. Now, yeah, it's going to disrupt a bunch of things, but it's going to bring in this new oligarchy, right, to where corporate and special interest groups, but then it also allows white men to be like Russians. When you look across the planet, who they say is like the highest degree, you feel me, a white man. They always say they're Russian out there wrestling bears and stuff. Right. You feel me? So, and then go look at the Chinese man. When we talk about martial arts, you feel me? They're the picturesque, right, poster child for martial arts and fighting.
Physical defense.
Exactly. Right. So China and Russia are able to do what they want to do, right?
Absolutely.
And so America's always been jealous of that. You know what I'm saying? That structure of just saying, let's get rid of diplomacy. If I say it's gonna be, then it's gonna be. Like, I don't want y'all talking back to me. You feel me? If the whole idea is make America great again, they're saying make it great again to be a white man. Let's make it great again to be white. What white people did not want to have to deal with is what black people been dealing with, which is double consciousness. A white man don't want to have to think about what he's saying because of his race. Right. And that's what they... Yeah, that's what they had to deal with is you erased their privilege, and now white man got to think about, damn, how is this going to sound as me, a white man, saying this? Me, a straight white man, saying this. So you erased everything that they built their country on, right? Straight white male privilege, right? Outwardly, and now they got to think about it. So now they having this double consciousness, and it was blowing their mind because they like, what is this feeling? You know what I'm saying? And they feel it what we've always felt. I got to think about being black first. You got to think about being white first. They said, what? I don't like this. They start talking about this reverse racism, man. This is what racism feel like.
That's what it feel like.
So they went into their mode. They thought fighting racism. You know what I'm saying? They said, no. So they took playbooks and start the activism, right, to try to get that privilege back. We've never had the privilege. We wanted privilege for the first time. They want privilege back. Then they say, wait a minute, the whole idea of being a white is y'all got the majority. So that's being threatened by the baby bust, which increased during COVID. It was already on a decline. So you got two people. Bill Gates say, Africans having too many babies. Elon Musk say, white people ain't having enough babies. You know what I'm saying? So you have these two agendas, because every time he talks about population control, they're talking about controlling everybody else's population, not their own, because they're not having enough. Fact. So this is what people didn't understand about that idea. Then you talk about dominance.
So you're talking eugenics, right?
Yeah, eugenics. Right. So then when you start talking about dominance as far as testosterone, look at what the Japanese just gave him, a gold helmet. You give that to the highest of divine warriors. Number one, most people couldn't afford a gold helmet, you know what I mean? So it was also represent like royalty at the same time. The Japanese gave them that because they like, I see what you want now. The Japanese, their whole thing is Bushido. They respect warrior clans. So now the rest of the world is looking at Donald Trump as that old white man back. Like, oh, he on that type of time.
On that time. Right.
Zelensky was never going to get a deal, first of all, at least not at that particular conference, because they set these things up. First of all, when you get into the economics of it, what does Donald Trump want? He wants investment into America. War brings down the bonds. You got the bonds and the yield. So if the Ukraine war keeps going, you feel me? Then they spending billions of dollars staying into a forever war with Russia. That's not good money, right? Then they say, okay, well, let's get your minerals. It's a hard deal. But matter of fact, if you give us the minerals, then we got to help you in war, not to end the war. So the whole thing is, how do we end the war? Because it'll be more interesting for us to get the minerals and end the war. So Zelensky like, wait a minute, y'all want my minerals and y'all want to end the war. What do I get? Just to give up my minerals and be taken over? This don't really make sense, because that's what Russia wanted. So America on some type of time where he say, man, no, it's the art of the deal. Listen, if you ain't got the leverage, I ain't gonna treat you like you do. We not doing this diplomacy no more. It's like you talking to somebody and you being respectable, but then they doing too much and you're like, all right, little bruh, look, I ain't got time for this shit no more. Right. You know what I'm saying? Either you do what the hell I say, because what you gonna do for real? You ain't gonna do nothing. If I smack you right now, so stop acting like we equal. I ain't playing with you. That's what he on, that type of time. You're like a New Yorker
look.
when they had enough. I ain't playing with you
Donald
no more.
Trump
I'm smacking you.
is a nigga from Queens.
Yeah.
He's 50 Cent and whiteface. And I've been trying my best to help people that are not from New York to understand he's John Gotti and 50 Cent in one.
Yeah, it's
The
hyper
bundle
masculinity. You feel me? Listen, I'm tired of, I didn't want to put on this suit and play this game with you in the first place because I'm treating you like you got more cards at the table than you do. And society hasn't been based on an apex pecking order in a long time, right? So you end up dealing with somebody, it's like the killers that come out the prisons and cells, they know, man, I will kill you playing with me, but then I gotta work for you, I gotta be under you. So we haven't had a society to where the warriors are at the top, right, in a very long time, which used to be. Now all the warriors is playing in the NBA and the NFL, or they in gangs. You feel me? So what they're showcasing, at least as an idea, right? Who they respect the most? They respect, Hitler and them boys and what they was doing. He was like, we just gonna take world domination. They studied them. There's more documentaries on him than damn near anybody. You feel me? More books on him than anybody. They took his scientists, his programs, his propaganda, his science, and that's what they running. They running that same play. You feel me? This pure white thing, this cocaine that we pushing right now to say that ours is better, we got the best product on the market. Why they bring in Elon Musk? Because Elon Musk he represents so-called the smartest of them, so they need to take credit for that. We can't have Elon Musk over at the Democrats. No, we need to keep him close. But white people know how to make white the privilege. We don't make black the privilege. We argue about whether black is evil, whether it's right, whether it's ignorant.
Or whether there's a such thing.
The whole thing about white is that it represents a privilege. That's the whole thing. It represents a status and a privilege in America by saying you are white. So everybody wanted to come over here and be white, right? The Asian tried and they had ruled, no, you're not white, right? But then there were some other foreigners that came in and said you are white. So Ukrainian is experiencing, right, getting a white card revoked. You feel me? Because it's like, wait a minute, we Ukrainian, we white. Why y'all treating us like this? You feel me? This don't make no sense for y'all to treat us.
You're not Russian white.
Right. Hey, you ain't white as this green dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? They on something different. They really on green right now. And the people are confused because it switched to green versus white. And so people don't know that it's better to be green than white. You feel me? And so poor people are finding their identifiers in nationalism, not realizing that's just to scapegoat the people away from each other so they don't look at elites that's about to bring in robots and AI to replace y'all untaxed.
And on that high-level observation, family, we're going to take a brief break so you can digest that entire plate. Be back in a minute. This is Blurred Lines.
What are you waiting for? Download the ATL TV Network app now and start streaming your favorites. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this. Click that link and join the fun today.
Peace, family. It's 19 Keys on the ATL TV Network. Make sure you stream smarter, not harder. You know what I'm talking about? Peace to the family. Download the app now.
This is Blurred Lines. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes, we are back with Blurred Lines, and we are joined by our special guest, none other than the good brother, 19 Keys.
Pleasure to be here, as always.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I want to start this conversation off, with a situation that Donald Trump enacted the other day, where he announced that the crypto reserve is going to be backed by Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, XRP, and Solana.
Yeah.
Right? It was almost like a holiday for the crypto bros. You know what I mean? A lot of excitement, a lot of speculation and whatnot. What are your thoughts about the crypto reserve? Is it a plus? Is it a bonus? Does this help things out? Or are we seeing another Ponzi scheme?
Maybe it's all. Depending on what your position is. If you're in position, you want prices to go down so you can get a better position.
Right.
Right? If you're not in position and you are late to the party, right, then it's too late for you. Right? In a certain essence, right? It's too late to get certain prices.
Right.
So the whole idea of the crypto reserve, though, we knew this was coming. They had announced it. So far, Donald Trump has been keeping aligned with the promises that he made on the campaign trail to the crypto bros.
Right.
And then, of course, he has his own Liberty group that has been investing alongside buying up Ethereum and all of these ISO 22 compliant cryptos, which is saying that they already compliant with regulation.
Right.
So we knew that these was going to be the ones in the bag. The one that popped up the most was Cardano, right? The thing about it is that, you know, if the dollar ends up becoming weakened and then it's supported by crypto, right, then it strengthens that dollar again.
Right.
Because the whole idea of it is that, you know, if we trying to wane off the dollar, right, and the dollars go inevitably fall, right, how do we prop that up? So crypto is the hedge for the American dollar.
Right.
So they're really
Instead
looking
of gold?
ahead. Yeah. You know, gold, number one, America is not the biggest holder of gold. So why would they want it to be hedged by gold?
By gold,
Right?
right.
If China is one of the biggest holders of gold, right, and Indian women, then why would we want gold to then be the hedge? If you can go find a gold mine in Africa somewhere,
Right.
you feel me, where they can just find a
In the
$1 trillion
Congo,
worth of
right.
gold, we don't want gold to be the standard. They want
Right.
something that's controllable, right? Something that's manageable as well. The only thing about crypto is whether it's a part of a social credit program and whether the government has programmable and controllable money, right?
Right.
Eventually the government is going to want control, right? That's the
Right.
whole idea, unless we going into completely privatized markets, which is what they're doing, of like destroying certain systems so they can privatize, because the whole thing of a corporation is to make more profits.
Exactly.
So if we can privatize the banking industry, which is why they're now having a clash between their so-called, some people didn't want XRP in there.
In there, right.
Because they like XRP is a technology that compete with the banks. Even though
Right.
the banks are still part of XRP, you know, they play these media games and things of that nature.
Right.
So for the average person, invest in what the rich are investing, right? If that's where you want to go, right? They decrease in jobs, increase in automation, right? So the best thing you can do is to buy an asset as tokenization comes in. So as those asset prices rise, your money is working for you.
Right.
So every available dollar you get, you should be buying some sort of asset. Bitcoin should be #1 allocation, right? Then you should have something to where you're more riskier, putting into altcoins, putting into real world asset coins, AI coins, if you understand which ones to get in.
Right.
But if you don't want to spend that time doing your actual research, then of course you go look at the top one, go buy you some Bitcoin and go look at the ones they just put in that reserve and allocate a percentage of your monies into those.
Into those.
And then of course I would always hold me some gold, right? That goes to your family net worth. So if you want to increase the net worth of every black family in America, what I've been saying for the last 5-10 years is like, if we buy assets, then therefore that means that 2053 number to say that black families have 0% wealth, because
Right.
they saying we have zero assets.
Right.
So therefore we just taking our money. You don't buy crypto, you are exchanging one currency for another.
Right.
Right? A currency that is worth more than your current currency and one that is rising. You
Right.
know your dollar is not about to rise 10, 20, 30, 40% over the
gonna
next few
10x.
years.
Right.
So why would you hold your money in dollars if it's not going to rise, if I can hold it in gold or crypto and it goes up, or in real estate or in land, or, you know, buy art? The
Right.
goal is, if my person, you pay me in a dollar, okay, cool. As much money is wage suppression, so we're not going to pay you no more money. But what you do with your money can pay you more money.
Right.
You feel me?
So it becomes an educated consumer in a way.
Exactly. And then the next piece is just, all right, that's what you can do within the system, right? What did they just make? Meme coins legal.
Yes.
What does that essentially mean, right? This country was founded off a lotto. You know what I'm saying? If you go back into this country history, they did lottos, ways to be able to raise money.
Right.
And so, you know, our generation has, you know, meme coins, and we got gambling. You know what I'm saying? Prize picks and things of that nature. Because we have financial nihilism. We don't believe in the system. You don't believe in the system.
Right.
You say, man, if I work within the system, it's already rigged. I'm never going to win. BlackRock owns everything. That makes people go into a gambling mentality.
Right.
So if I can't get ahead going step by step, then let me goddamn go play the lotto. So the older generation had the lottery tickets.
Right.
You feel me? And prize picks.
We got FanDuel.
Now we got FanDuel and those things. So gambling is going to increase, which is why meme coins continue to increase.
Right.
But then by them saying it's legal, and the problem is that most 99% of them are rug pulls. But what they're saying is that these are now collectibles, so-calledly, right? They're not real securities or investments. So that means that there is a vehicle that you can use to allocate funds into to raise money. Now, it can't be legally said like that.
Right.
But it can't be considered illegal to utilize a meme coin to get money to fund an idea.
Right.
Because the only thing is that we're not saying with meme coins is that these people are taking in hundreds of millions of dollars, but they're not doing nothing with it.
Right.
We ain't seeing no buildings being built, no schools being built, no programs being done. It's just a bunch of greedy ass people just making money. And who's making the most money? These large funds that's funding the coins.
Right. Shout out to the Trump coin.
Yeah. So they
And
just taking money from the poor. It's the reverse Robin Hood.
That's crazy. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump's announcement about the gold card coinciding with this new wealth class of crypto holders and whatnot from different countries? You know, we could look at the charts, we could read the data, and there are people in Africa, India, Asia, and other parts of the world who are heavy in the crypto market and whatnot. So by selling a gold card for $5 million to the average American or the average 9-to-5er, that might seem like something that's kind of out of their range. But for somebody who's sitting on a nice amount of crypto coins in their wallet and whatnot, when it begins to 10x and 100x, $5 million is almost like $5,000 and whatnot. So what are your thoughts on that?
The gold card is like the green card. It's a pathway to citizenship, right? The question becomes is, how educated are those people that he's trying to bring in? Because if you wealthy, you got $5 million, you got more than that, right?
Right.
You got the person that has $5 million probably got $25 million, right? Probably got $50 million, $100 million, because nobody got $5 million just for a citizenship.
Or 81 trillion.
Or 81.
They just gave somebody 81 trillion the other day.
Oh yeah, the glitch.
Yeah.
So, but think about it though. What are you buying when you buy into a citizenship? The way to make that gold card actually something that people want is that you got to get rid of taxes first.
Right.
Because Dubai, you can go over there and become a citizen without the taxes.
Right.
Right? You can go to some of these new economies that's being set up because, any place can offer you citizenship, but it's the taxes. Because you don't want to then have to get citizenship and then get taxed on everything that you do. Even outside of America.
Yeah, because USA is one of the only places where they have taxed you outside.
So, of course, you want to attract investment, and we'll see what that overall strategy is of asking for that. But look, Elon Musk want to bring in the Boers. You know what I mean? These South Africans shouldn't get no free ride. They should have to pay to come over here if that's the case.
Right.
You feel me? If they own all the wealth in South Africa, make them pay to get a gold card. Why did they get to come over here for free?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the idea of how do we attract the wealthiest people in America, I think it's just taking a play from like Saudi Arabia and Dubai and things of that nature. But you're going to have to make America more appealing because they can come to America. If you got $5 million, you can come in and not America, no problem. How do you make it appealing to where they don't have to pay taxes and they can build in America? You feel me? So I'm sure we're going to see some more infrastructure changes along the way that make that $5 million gold card make some more sense.
In my humble opinion,
because people live in America with $5 million.
Right. I'm looking at the smart cities. I'm looking at the 15-minute cities. I'm looking at Trump and his administration looking at Dubai and the UAE and trying to mimic that type of quote-unquote billionaire's paradise and whatnot.
But I think it also just represents the fact that America's for sale. You know what I'm saying? That America is in this age where it's about get money. It's not about racism. It's all classism. Even within Black America, it's classism. You feel me? We only riot against those who lose their jobs of a certain class. You feel me? Middle class or like a Joy Reid or MSNBC, but other black media is not supported. You feel me? These are silos and groups and classism in America, and I think it's just showing that the future of America being ran by, you know, oligarchies is going to be based on money. That's it.
Right.
Silos of tribes and groups that have access to technology, but depending on how much compute power you have, you know what I mean, and how much money you
GPUs,
have, which has always been a way in a certain sense, but you go back to movies like with Justin Timberlake and Time.
The Time
you feel
movie.
me?
Right.
So when they start creating designer cities, right? Like Dubai is one of the first designer cities, right?
Right.
They're going to create more of these designer cities that's only accessible to the wealthy, right?
Yeah,
because right now they've taken a lot of the privileges of the wealthy away and turned it into a business model for the common man. You know what I mean? So what is money and what can your money buy?
Right.
So you got to come up with new privileges for what money is, because when everything becomes tokenized, right? IP is tokenized, right? Everything, then this gives a way for the average man to have some sort of value, right? So energy becomes tokenized and decentralized to say, listen, whatever energy I don't use, I can sell to you, right? And you start having these systems, so now I can make money off unused, like it's like if you got unused minutes and you can sell that to somebody else.
You could sell your rollover.
Those are the systems that's going to be in place. Tokenization, right, and IP, and that's why ownership is important, because in the future, you won't be able to own anything, not because you can't buy it, it's too expensive to buy. Housing price, car prices just went up like $12,000, right? Average car.
Tariffs.
What happens when you can't afford a car? You're going to be happy with access to that car, which the younger generation already is happy with. Right. They go thrift shopping. They want access to cars, access to Airbnbs, access to security. Right. You don't own these things. You have access, and they're tokenized out to you and distributed.
Right.
Then you can look at that model and say, well, damn, isn't that the indigenous way? We don't own nothing and we share everything.
We share everything, right.
The problem is, though, is that it's not the fact that we don't own it, it's who owns what we're using.
Right.
Right? So it's funny because it's an indigenous model, but then it's been thrown into the structure of capitalism. It's saying that y'all should be happy with not owning nothing, right? Because ownership is the problem. No, the problem is that you own it and we own nothing, and we get fractions of everything, right? And access to it.
Right.
Robots come out, you won't own it, you gonna rent them. They're gonna be too expensive.
So is that the theory of Klaus Schwab and the WEF? I believe that this was something that he said at a conference.
It's not sustainable, and it doesn't actually make sense for everybody to own, right? And it's funny because when you talk about anything you say that's aligned with these devils, people be like, oh, you pushing that.
Right.
No, I'm just thinking for myself. If we got 8 billion people on the planet, everybody can't own a car.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's too many cars on the road, too much emission, too much traffic. We already gridlocked.
Right.
So if you believe in population growth, then everybody can't own. But what we really lost, right, is shared access to each other. So why does everybody need to own a lawnmower if we could share a lawnmower?
If we could share.
But we've lost that sharing economy.
Now, that was going to bring back, henceforth, why the share economy kind of took off the way that it did.
Yeah.
You have Uber, rideshare. You have Airbnb, people sharing their rooms.
Tinder, girl share.
Right, girl share. You know, this community, you know. And
what they say, she for the streets. They say she's for the
she for the community, right.
They share.
Right.
They out here sharing.
Part of the share economy. You know what I'm talking about?
That's what they say you want for your brother.
I want for you what I want for my brother.
Wow, all right. But real life, we regular individualism, as Blue Pill was saying, like, we're so individualized, we want it ourselves, which makes it competitive. What I have, you don't have, or I have better than what you have.
Right.
So it's this ideas as well. You have to think for yourself, okay, what is the best model, right? It's not the DEF model, but the idea of the World Economic Forum is that these are people that think about global problems.
Right.
When in most of your time in life, you can't be a good thinker on global problems because most of your problems are local.
Right.
So when you share an opinion on something that a global leader does, you don't even have time to think about it, nor do you have the data or the research.
Right.
So then what we need in our communities are people that are what we call stewards, right? Earth stewards is what we used to be. Indigenous tribes, they work eco-friendly with the earth for harmony instead of just extraction. Regeneration instead of just generate.
Right.
So we become machines, and all the language that we use is machine language, right? We need to outwork people, efficiencies, right? All of these things, the way you program. It's because we see ourselves as little machines. Our
Right.
goal is, how do we get back to being human beings? Right? Human beings is where we're going to thrive and where we're more resilient. So in the machine age, we have to get back to being human beings again, and then we change our language to being in harmony and being in flow, right? Then we start utilizing languages that doesn't put us in traps of mental toxic health, because
Right.
we're trying to get the most efficient outputs out of each other.
Right.
We're trying to outwork you. Like, these are process thinking. That's not how nature does it. Nature is regenerative.
Right.
You feel me? It's getting the same amount of energy out and it becomes cyclical. You feel me? We generate income, but the idea of generate income, having an investment entity, is so that it becomes regenerative.
Right.
But we gotta work and work and
Works
work
for
and
you.
work and work. Then it goes out, and then so you're using more energy than necessary just to live. Right? So we're overworking in society. We're overthinking in society because we become machines, and machines is based on their output.
Right.
So what did China or France just figured out a way to have fusion technology that lasts for 22 seconds, the power of the sun? They just figured out they go be doing these things to where you have immortal batteries. Melanin is supposed to be immortal. We resilient.
Right.
But we use so much of our energy just to live without actually living.
Right.
So the goal is, how do we get to this point of survive, thrive, evolve? That's where it's at. But what happens is, we're surviving, we start thriving, but we end up going back to survival mode.
Right.
What happened to middle class? They was thriving, they back in survival mode.
Right.
Survive, thrive, evolve.
Right.
Right? So now when you do that, all of our thinking is set in survival, just making through it. I'm just getting through the day, man. How you doing? I'm maintaining, man. Ain't nothing new. It's just
Yeah, man.
survival.
Let me hold something.
Yeah, just trying to get through another day, man.
Right.
You feel me? Thrive. When you're thriving, man, I'm doing well, man. You talk to different people at different levels, man. I'm doing good right now. Everything is going as it's supposed to go.
4-hour work week. you know, chilling.
But you don't realize, once you stop working, everything comes down. So investing is regenerative.
Right.
That money is working for you, so you don't have to do all the work.
Right.
Then you get into evolution. I ain't worried about a bill and how long. When you're not thinking survival, you think in a different time frame.
You're able to plan for 20, 30, 50 years
You
out.
can't talk to a people who have to worry about next week, about next year.
Right.
It's not, you can talk to them, but they have an inability. It's called mental myopia. It's when a person can't see that far, they can't think that far. So when you get out of survival mode, you start thinking far. You think beyond what you're doing to survive, and you start thinking, what do I need to do to evolve?
Right.
So that's when you get into high level conversation.
Right.
High level conversation is evolution talk.
Right.
It's the comfort to have the conversation to speak about evolution. Even when you look at Darwinism theory of evolution, it wasn't based on survival, right? It was based on evolving, because the strongest ones would last. Those are the ones that were thriving.
Right.
So it said if everybody does what the thriving ones will do it, we survive.
Then we survive,
So
right.
then mechanisms and organisms would pick on those adaptations, right, of the strongest. The problem is that we will take the weakest of us and represent them as they're the strongest, because they have popularity.
Right. Right.
So the goal is the best of us represent us. Then that's when we do what the best of us do. Then we evolve based on adapting those features.
Right.
But we are taking survivalist traits and mimicking them consistently. This nigga only did that because he got to survive.
Right.
You feel me? I'm not going to be like somebody that's surviving. I'm going to be like somebody that's evolving. Do you want to be like Money Mayweather when he first got in the game? Or do you want to be the one that just bought 42 buildings?
No, 62.
62, excuse me, Mr. Mayweather.
Right.
He bought 62 buildings. Evolution.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody is supposed to go through an evolution phase. We shouldn't even be born in survivalism, first of all.
Right.
We should only be in evolution. So we're having different conversations. Some people are having conversations about surviving. Some people are having conversations about evolving.
Right.
People that's talking about surviving say, I don't want to hear that because I can't. I'm deaf to it. I can't see that far. You talking 5 years in the future, I need to pay, I need to get me some money so my daughter can go to school next week.
Right.
I need to feed the family. So all my decision making importance, I only listen to data that will help me right now.
Right.
So this is where you have to get people into evolution. It has to be people focused on building jobs, infrastructures, economies. Then the next wave, because we got good at the old world knowledge, the new world knowledge, and most of our leaders have old world knowledge. They don't
Right.
know about blockchain, decentralization, parallel networks, digital nation states.
Right.
So Just like an AI has to go through a knowledge refresh. I was using DeepSeek, and I asked about it on something that's happening today. DeepSeek said, man, look, I only know my cutoff date 2023.
Right.
They don't know nothing about Donald Trump being president.
Right.
So he can't tell me about that.
Right.
So just like that,
set.
as a human being, you have to go through a knowledge refresh.
Right.
So that your knowledge is modernized to today's time.
Right.
So that what you're doing can be efficient now, not then.
Not then.
So when I look at human beings, I relate that like, damn, when they say artificial intelligence, take the artificial off and we just left with intelligence. Then we left with different intelligent types.
Right.
Right? Your knowledge refresh, you went to school in the 90s. You feel me? So you haven't got updated to new scientific paradigms, new technological and social paradigms. Where me, I was born right in the 90s. You feel me? Where your knowledge cutoff date was at. I'm refreshed in today's time.
Right.
So I'm gonna have a different intelligence type. You feel me? In the way that I see things, because I have more information that is more modern to go off of that also regards your old information.
Right.
So yeah, two AIs of different knowledge sets, they're going to differ on what to do, because one is saying, oh, why you saying, if I say, how do you get rich? And your knowledge cutoff date was 2000 and the year 2000.
Right.
And mine is of 2025. You're going to have vastly different solutions for the same problems.
Super facts. You can see that when you prompt ChatGPT 3.5 versus when you prompt the IO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in data is the way you arrange it, right? You arrange some data, then you can create statistics, you can create graphs, then you can take that data, then that data can be converted into a blueprint.
Peace, family. That was a lot of information that the good brother just shared with us. We're gonna let that sizzle on your soul for a minute. We will be right back with Blurred Lines. Peace. This is Blurred Lines.
I got a question for you. What does your cabinet look like? What is it that you're taking into your routine that's keeping you high level? If it's not our products, then whose products are you taking? And if it's no products, then that's a problem. Y'all seen our commercials for Gold Water, right? You've seen it all over high-level conversations. You come to the show, you grab your bottle, people give us the best testimonials on the planet, and we got people on the go. The thing about Gold Water is it's not our only product. We have products like the vitamin C moss. We don't naturally produce vitamin C, so we got to get it in other forms. So therefore, especially during wintertime, we're able to keep that immune system functioning high. Let's say if you just want pure moss. This is just pure moss. I'm talking about a superfood, the best on the planet. And not just from anywhere, because you never know where people actually getting their moss from. I ain't never seen them take a trip to Jamaica. See, we get ours tested, right? To make sure that you're getting the highest quality, pure version of it, and you're getting those minerals in an over-chemicalized world. We got Smart Moss Gold, right? That Smart Moss Gold is like a Viagra for the brain. You ever find yourself when your brain feels like it's low? You tap one of these and your brain gonna feel high level. Yeah, and women love a sapiosexual, so when those brains are popping and those ideals are running, you stay tapped in. You gotta make sure you stay safe out here. There's all sort of viruses and diseases that's running around this world, especially during this time. If you're traveling, make sure you spray this on the orifices throughout your body to kill any of those viruses or any of those things trying to invade you. Make sure y'all tap into goldwater.com so next time somebody asks you what's keeping you high level, what's keeping you young and healthy and wealthy feeling. And now we can take some of that credit for it over here at goldwater.com. Make sure you keep your health journey running. It's a marathon. Peace.
Peace, family. It's 19 Keys, and you tuned in to Blurred Lines. Peace.
This is Blurred Lines. So in this conversation, the AI was brought up a few times. Real quick, we're in the beginning of 2025, and the resurgence of the conversation around AI has taken new levels and whatnot. We saw this whole thing with DeepSeek. It caught the world's attention. It shut markets down. And then after that, there was a plethora of new models dropping. This is like so many models, I think I'm at a Victoria's Secret party or something. Give me real quick, some insight of the state of AI in 2025 and how our people can use the new deep research models and all of this new technology that we have our hands on to enhance our striving, quote unquote, mission.
Now I'm glad you mentioned the deep research. So you have like Sonnet, you have Claude, you have Perplexity, you have DeepSeek, right?
Yes.
You have ChatGPT, Quinn. You have a multitude of different models out there. And then of course you can go on what they call Hugging Face, and then you can just start downloading models for free.
Yes.
A lot of them that developers are working with. You got the Llama model. You can also run these models local on your computer. Right. You can go, there's a guy called Network Chuck, right? He shows you how to download these. It's very simple, easy, couple minutes.
Right.
You feel me? I would suggest that people put the local models on their computer if they utilize in DeepSeek, because they have embedded in there to where they send your information out.
Right.
The whole idea with the models is that they're training the models on you so that they can replace you. So every time we're using it, we're feeding the models. Right. And so the idea though of it is that, do you want to have the most smartest people that you have access to, or intelligent beings you have access to, let's say that, work for you? Right. So now you have 20 different skill sets working for you. Right. Somebody that's a writer, somebody that's a researcher, right? You have all these people in different categories to where you don't have to go to school from them, but what you're going to have to learn is the skill set of managing these people. Right. Philosophical thinking, learning how to think about problems and different things, so that when you're putting inputs into the machine, you're getting the correct output based on the prompt that you put in. Right. So
theoretically, I don't mean to cut you off. So theoretically, this just opened up a whole new opportunity for the teachers that are getting laid 100%. Off, for people who want, there's a new curriculum that could be formed where the students, especially the homeschoolers and whatnot, the new students coming up are now going to be taught how to be AI engineer, prompt engineers, and things of that nature. Please continue.
Absolutely. I spoke at Teacher Jam, where they bring all of the principals, right, and different teachers. And that was the one thing I was teaching them last year, right, is how to create these customizable curriculums based on each student intelligence type. Right? So instead of having 30 students and they're all learning the same thing, why not train them based on their strengths? Why not give them models and then in 30 days see what they did with the model, right? So you can go study their data and understand what they're interested in, so therefore you can get them to double down on that, because in today's time, you really want people who have skills and mastery, right? Only skilled, very skilled experts and masters are going to be valuable in the future. Because all that other novice stuff, we can have an AI do it. So yeah, the privatization of education comes with the end of the border education. So therefore, while people are trying to tell you not to sell a course, no, create better courses, right? And make sure that they're in a way to where they're immersive so that you're getting better results. It's not the problem of selling a course, it's making sure the student gets the results. So the privatization of education is here. So I want to see us creating our own universities, and then we can create just about anything, because the hardest step always been is the research. So now we can do the proper amount of research so that before we do things, we're executing on that data. So now it's not so much of having somebody teach you, it's about being in a proper environment that you can learn in. Right? And what's that proper environment, right? You go to college, you will be able to get a network out of that. So now when you got people that can build a community around education, you're paying to be a part of that so that you can network with other individuals. The best teaching operation is when you can learn and teach at the same time, because you learn by teaching. You learn your shortcomings, right? And you learn your strengths. So, in this particular era, you want to study creating AI agents to do tasks for you, right? Some that are good at marketing, right? Where you can do all your research. You go to ChatGPT, and then there's also some AIs out there to where you can get all these models under one. Right. So you want to think about that as well. So you're not, having a subscription to 20 different things, where you can get a subscription to one.
I'm signed up to Poe and Hibiscus. Yeah, those are some powerful models where the subscription might be $19.99, but they have the API of all of the models and whatnot. So yes, excellent insight, my good brother. I want to continue this conversation.
One last thing I want to say is that everybody, the number one thing to give up during this time that can guarantee you success is give up scrolling for AI. And what I mean by that, if you can give up death scrolling in the time that you spend death scrolling,
doom
and
scrolling,
you turn that doom scrolling into time that you spend mastering AI,
yes,
you're going to be one of the 6-7 figure earners in the future. Give up the news cycle, right, for learning the AI cycles. I promise you're going to be ahead of 99.9% of people on the planet, and you're going to be able to create your own job and employ people under you.
You heard it from the man himself, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you do anything, apply the information that you just heard. I want to thank you for your time and your insight. You know what I mean? And
I want on that Supermind coffee, so.
That's right. I want you to let them know what that Supermind coffee is about, what that Gold Water is about, you know, and what are some of the products that the everyday man and woman could use in order to feed what's most important at this point, which is the mind and the brain.
You know what I'm focused on shifting? I want to see coffee in the club.
Coffee in the club. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a crazy vision right there.
You take an espresso shot.
Right,
in the club. Man, it's gonna have you energized. You feel me? You gonna be talking to her. Instead of y'all getting bottles, you feel me? Y'all got the red cups coming with the Supermind. You feel me? I promise you the conversation gonna be intellectual.
Sparkles in the coffee.
It's gonna hit different. Yeah, the sparklers come with the coffee. Imagine that, ladies. It's a man in the club. He's sitting back there drinking.
Bottle girls.
He got coffee instead, and he just sitting there, and he ain't liking you. Just he got that blurred vision. He see you clearly for who you are, and he like you.
Yeah.
Now look at this. I'm gonna give you one last piece with this. So she don't feel better about being with you, right? Because every moment that y'all spent together in the club, number one, she gonna remember, but number two, she gonna wake up feeling good.
There you go.
No hangover. She go, what was different?
Right.
Because you know when you go out, you expecting a hangover. You like, damn, why am I still clear-minded?
Yeah, why am I brain buzzing?
Because I was in the section where they were drinking coffee.
So no more bottle girls? It's coffee girls now?
Girls. Look, it's gonna be two sides. It's some people that got some people got their liquor, some people got their coffee. And then of course we're gonna serve the mints that go along with it. You feel me? Because there's liquor breath, there's coffee breath. So instead, we got the coffee mints. Don't even worry about it. We're going to make sure it's minty fresh.
Right.
But you sitting there sharing a cup of coffee, it's going to stimulate you the same way. All you looking for is energy. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest thing that they saying in the club is they don't got the energy no more.
They got the energy.
They on the phones, they wallflowers, they not moving.
Get back to dancing like it's a Jamaican club.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? Watching wine
coffee
with some of that. I'm telling you that Supermind, you feel me, for the high intellectuals. Dirty wine off the Supermind. It improves focus, so now he focused on you. That man in the club sipping like this.
Conversation is better.
Now he can find you. He can't find you because his vision blurry. You know what I mean? But he can peep you now like an eagle. Wait a minute.
Right.
You feel me?
Spot you out the crowd. Right.
Yeah. Now you get to come to his session, baby. You want a shot? You feel me? Hit you with that espresso shot. You feel me? Now you up and awake. Now y'all having a conversation, high level, that y'all ain't never had in life. You feel me?
Don't pop the balloon.
Yeah.
Get you some coffee.
So what's gonna happen is in the club, it's gonna come in the red cups. You feel me?
That's dope.
See, I was at a party in an event, KD Boardroom event, and they had the coffee serving.
Yeah.
And I sipped the coffee, then I wanted to network.
Yeah.
How you got a networking party, you ain't got no coffee.
Yeah.
You ain't networking with nobody. This drunk person all leaning all over you trying to talk. You don't even remember who you met. You feel me? So the Supermind, of course, it got the mushrooms with the lion's mane that stimulates your brain and your neurons so that the synapses can connect with the electricity impulsing going from one end to the other so that the information connect. Nowadays, cats can't even remember numbers no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you ain't had no napkin and you ain't had no phone. You had to remember a number till you got home.
It was off the dome.
With that Supermind, you ain't even got to take an Instagram. Just tell me, I'm going to remember forever now.
That part. That part.
So look, you going to wake up feeling good. You go be on that supermind, and then before you go out, you wake up to some of that gold water monatomics. You feel me? Make sure you stimulate it, but it works better if you clean on the inside.
Okay.
So you get that maximum absorption rate, because we born with that gold in us. You feel me? And so, yeah, it gets back to that point, yeah, man, with high testosterone, man, that's an intellectual man. You feel me? This is good for your body. Your little swimmers, you get home, you trying to, I ain't promoting, because this generation decreasing casual sex and decreasing alcohol. So I think they already want this.
Right.
But now you've been dealing with this man this whole time, you feel me? And he drinks so much Henny, and he drinking too much, and now he can't even keep it up when y'all having sex.
Yeah, the performance.
Yeah. So I'm gonna need y'all to lay off the drugs. You feel me? Stop over drinking and things of that nature, and just start switching that up to where you got enhanced mood and clarity. Now you know what to text. You're not asking GPT, what should I text her?
Right.
Because I know that's what y'all doing.
Right.
When you got that super mind, you ain't got to ask nobody nothing, because your mind is already operating. Now y'all gonna have some super babies. Now y'all gonna make some super money. You know
Accelerated intelligence over augmented intelligence over artificial intelligence. Let's get back to our ancient minds, ancient intelligence.
Yeah.
With that being said, my good brother, I want to say thank you. Make sure y'all check out High Level Conversations, Man to Man Podcast, and follow the good brother on the IG and all platforms.
Yes,
You
sir.
on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, the right TikTok. You gotta find me at 19 Keys, I believe is underscore.
Okay.
Find the right one. Just
Right.
DM me first. If I DM you first, it's not the right one.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, y'all. With that being said, peace, love, and light. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Blurred Lines. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, indeed. See you soon. Peace. Peace.
This is Blurred Lines.
What are you waiting for? Download the ATL TV Network app now and start streaming your favorites. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this. Click that link and join the fun today.
Peace, family. It's 19 Keys on the ATL TV network. Make sure you stream smarter, not harder. You know what I'm talking about? Peace to the family. Download the app now.
This is Blurred Lines. Yes, indeed, family. Peace to you and yours, Brother Blue, and live and direct.
Brother Red in the building.
Yes, indeed, and we have concluded another amazing episode of Blurred Lines. Make sure that you check this episode out. Before we leave, want to leave you with some real quick updates.
Yes. We have coming up on the 17th, all right, ATL TV Network, Branding Day for all of my content creators, all of my brands out there, everybody who needs content and understand that content is king. We need you to be in the building.
All roads converge to 488 Edgewood Avenue from the hours of 12 noon to 5 p.m.
Yes.
March 17th, march your arse down here.
March Madness.
And we are going to create some amazing content. Exactly. Underground Madness meets March Madness, ATL TV Network Brand Day. Make sure that you pull up to get your close up. You dig?
Yes, indeed. We'll see you in the building.
And immediately after that,
on 322, me and this man right here, alongside some of the most brightest minds in our community, B-Del 1014 and Akibalon 44, will be presenting a Zoom-only exclusive lecture entitled Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. That is an installment in a series that we've been doing over the past few years, and we're going to be bringing it with these powerful, metaphysical, esoteric, occult minds, and we're going to be breaking some things down. Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. Peace, love, and light. 322. See you in the building.
And with that, family, we want to say,
peace.
Catch you on the next one. This is Blurred Lines.